Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy CV with another reaction video, and let's get right into it. This one is called Top 8 Culture Shocks When Moving to Australia. I moved here to America in, I don't know, a long time ago. I'll say that. It was a huge culture shock. As a matter of fact, I'd never seen snow in my life because I came from Africa, right? Snow, that was a new thing to me, and I'm here in Boston. When I got here, nothing but snow. And I actually got off the plane and I looked on the ground. I told my father, I said, why is there no rocks in America on the ground? You know, because in my country, you could just walk, and you could take a left, look right. There's rocks everywhere, right? And that was the first lesson that I got. My father said, everything in America costs money, even the rocks. That's why you don't see rocks on the ground. Even rocks cost money. That was my first lesson in America. But yeah, I had a crazy culture shock moving here to America. And it's still, till this day, still confusing to me. But anyways, yeah, so top 8 culture shocks when moving to Australia. Shout outs to the channel. The channel's name is That Johnston Life. The link of that channel will be in the description. Show them some love. It's not my video. It was just recommended. Nobody told me to listen to it. So we got to give them love and a props. All right, let's do it. Let's get this to 100 likes if we can, man. Appreciate you guys.
Right, let's give this a go. So you've heard about the deadly animals, scorching sun, impossible isolation. What was the other one? And sausage and bread, and you're still thinking that you want to come to the land down under, then prepare yourself for these weird Australian culture shocks. G'day guys, my name's Ross, and I moved with my family to Australia during a global pandemic. Now I love living in Australia, but when we first moved over here, it was a little bit weird. Now to stop things being so weird for you when you make the move, these are our top 8 culture shocks when moving to Australia. Australians love their sport, but unless you're from Australia, sometimes the sport is a little bit strange. For example, football isn't football. And I'm not really talking about soccer, or am I? It really freaks me out to say the word soccer. For me, I know what football is. And for Australians, they
said no. Don't judge me.
also know what football is. But when you move to Australia, just resigned yourself to the fact that you're now probably going to follow the minority sport.
Listen, I just learned about AFL on my other channel. It's called CV Tech 1 if you want to go check it out. First of all, one of my favorite players' name to say is Nick Nack Nui. Nick Nack Nui. Is it Nick Nack Nui? Nick Nack Nui? No, Nick Nack Nui. Dude, I just love saying that name. And that dude is so tall. Oh, and by the way, I watched every game last year of the AFL. Every game. So just letting you know, I wake up 5 in the morning to watch AFL in America. Yep. 5 a.m. Sometimes I typically try to watch a game at 2, and then after that I watch another one at 5. Yeah. That's how much I started to like the game.
Subscription just to be able to watch it. Football in Australia can mean many things. Football for me means soccer, but football in Queensland means rugby league. And if you come from one of the southern states like Victoria or South Australia, then football can mean AFL. And I still don't understand how that game works, but I want to learn.
I've learned.
You can still have a beer at an AFL game, right? But if you come from the UK like me and you still want to watch your beloved football, then you're going to have to become a social hermit, bound to the wee hours of the night just to watch your darling Premier League. If you don't like...
That's what I do now when I watch AFL games. 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. It's the only way to catch it. Because live is the best way to watch sports. It has to be live.
Like it? Then take up one of the other many forms of football. And if you're American, well, they also kind of play baseball and stuff too. But probably not your form of football. It'd be like too hot in all the pads.
I didn't even know they played baseball there.
Spider in your helmet. The second shock that we had coming from the antisocial rest of the world is the fact that in Australia, people are actually friendly to you. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, people are friendly in other parts of the world. But Australians are kind of like this weird level of friendly. People greet you on the street. Neighbours come up to your house and welcome you to the neighbourhood. People actually offer you help. Now for me, being the antisocial hermit that I am watching my Premier League, people being friendly to me was a little bit weird and it just took a little bit of getting used to. But when it happens to you in Australia, it really does make you realise how nice the world can be. Now hey, you're going to think to yourself, people around the world are nice, and lots of them are. and you normally notice it when you're on holiday. Maybe it's the weather that makes people happier. Because I can tell you that the dreary darkness of winter kind of makes people the opposite. To be honest, this is one of the best culture shocks of Australia. Calling all social recluses out there. If you move to Australia, it's going to make you a better person. No one wants your social awkwardness or unfriendly.
Hey, that's not a culture shock. That's a beautiful thing, as a matter of fact, because here in America, when somebody wants to give homeless money or water, you know what they do? They take one of these and they film it. Oh, look, I'm giving you, like, it's not real. And, you know, I come from Africa, and actually I'm from west coast of Africa. My country's called Cape Verde. Look it up. It's beautiful. 10 islands. Oh my God. It's amazing. We're the same way. We're all about each other, people, love. My country is music, the food, and basically, and I was going to sound like it's Jamaica or something, but like stress free, because we all help each other. Like when I was a kid, if I walk down the street away from my house, the neighbor is watching me. The further I get, I'm talking about 20 minutes away from my home, and I'm 5 years old, everyone is watching me. And if I do something wrong, they would tell me, you better stop that. Like everybody was your parent in my country. So you couldn't just be this bad kid. And if they did tell you, hey, stop that, my parents wouldn't get mad. It's just how it is. Everybody's friendly. Everybody knows each other. It's only in America. See, this is a culture shock in America because it's the opposite in America. Everybody's for themselves and that kind of thing. So this to me is a beautiful thing. Australians being friendly, that's not a culture shock. That's a beautiful thing. Sorry, man. You know, sometimes I have to share my personal experience. That's just how it works. You learn about mine, I learn about yours. That's the beautiful thing about me having this channel. So
Banter. Australians are genuinely friendly, unless they don't like you. But there's no beating around the bush. It's totally straight.
When I heard somebody called me a bloke in the comment section on my other channel, CV Tech one, I thought they were calling me a name. I thought they were calling me fat or something, man. But I quickly found out that it didn't mean that.
Now, coming from the northern hemisphere on the other side of the world, having a cold Christmas becomes a rite of passage. But here, cold Christmases? Welcome to the heat, my friend. Christmas in summer. It's hot. Really hot. If you don't have aircon, you're gonna struggle. It's not dark. You and your family aren't just confined to one room, watching each other open presents you probably didn't even want. Wishing that the TV was on so that you wouldn't have to make awkward conversation with family members who you hardly ever see apart from the festive time.
What?
Wondering to yourself, is it too early to start drinking yet? The fact is that with Christmas in Australia, you get to take all of the good bits of Christmas, like presents and spending time with family that you actually want to spend time with, and then add all the good things of summer, like going to the beach, spending time in the pool, having a barbecue in the sunshine. Don't hang on to your old traditions of Christmas, like your roast turkey with all of the trimmings. I mean, do hang on to them, but don't whinge that you're doing it in the heat. Have a barbecue instead. Savour the wonder that is a potato bake. Why did we not have these in England? Or if we did, I never had one. They're gorgeous. Make new traditions and embrace the fact that Christmas in summer is now your new life. Now, coming from cosmopolitan Europe,
I did say that I'm from west coast of Africa, right? And my first time stepping in America, I said it was snowing. That was the first time I saw snow, right? Australia sounds like home to me. We didn't have Christmas snow. I'm from Africa. So to him, I think to him is a culture shock. To me, it's not. Sounds like home to me. Listen, I was in my country. All I did is play football, aka soccer, not AFL, school, and beach. That's all I did. Beach means swimming and fishing. As a matter of fact, me, if I go back home, it's in the outback. Give me a little area to swim, let me fish, and let me have my drink. Simple life. So I think Australia is probably the same way, all the way, you know, in the outback, not in the city. So just
kind of used to this next one because people on the continent sometimes like to have a siesta. But at least they opened up the shops and stuff again. Now, I know that this can catch out the average Brit visiting Marbella for the first time and wondering why in the middle of the day all the shops are shut. But in Australia, it goes to another extreme and shops just shut early. Want to get a coffee after 4 p.m? Yeah, nah. Don't be crazy. Why would you need that much caffeine in your system at night?
Go home and enjoy family?
In a couple of hours. Want a takeaway after 9 p.m. on a Friday? Well, you better live in the city centre. Ain't no one going to work after 9 PM in the burbs. You crazy? Unless you're in the major cities, things in Australia are rarely 24 hours. People have a life. They don't want to sit there waiting in a restaurant or a shop for your convenience. Don't be so selfish. Why aren't things so convenient? Well, it turns out people don't actually want to work all the time. And you need to respect that. Get a bit more organised. Enjoy a night in. Realise that that thing you think you need, you probably don't need right now. I'm sorry that the shop's shut early, but if you don't have that thing you want right now, is the world going to end? Probably not. And if it was that important, you wouldn't have forgotten it, right? And this culture shock extends into the next one. And it's the work culture. And weirdly enough,
I told you guys on one of the videos that I did that I was working 4-day weekend, right? My contract is 40 hours a week. I would do 40 hours in 4 days. And that way I would have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I understand this. As a matter of fact, if I can get away with 3 days a week, 3 days a week, I would have did it. Honestly.
Most Australians don't like to work. I mean, they do. They do like to work. That's a massively sweeping statement. But fortunately for people who live here, we don't live to work. Working to live is an incredibly emancipating feeling. What's the point in going to work all day to earn?
I love that attitude though, you know? Spend time with the family. Even if you don't have family, spend time for yourself. Go enjoy life a little bit, man.
Money to then not have the time to spend it. I don't want to live a life like that, do you? Especially when you have all of this
This is speaking to me right now. This looks like my country. I'm sorry. Mr. Johnson. Is that his name? Johnston?
Weather and beautiful scenery to spend it in. Except when it's a La Nina year. The scenery's still there, but the weather's still a bit crap. It has been
happens.
for the last 2 years. Fortunately for most Australians, this laissez-faire attitude to work extends to lots of different industries. If you're sick of the daily grind in your job, then come to Australia and you can do the same thing but not work as hard. Wouldn't we all want to just do that?
He said, this guy's funny though. I get his sarcasm though.
But sometimes this incredibly laid-back nature can lend itself to some slightly weird / potentially unsafe habits. Barefoot in public? That one takes a little bit of getting used to. Especially living up here in the sunshine state of Queensland, seeing people go barefoot in your local Coles can be pretty much a daily occurrence. Lots of people do it, especially children. It's like they've got an allergy to shoes or thongs. Just put some thongs on, mate. Protect yourself. Now for us foreigners who are used to wearing shoes anyway just to keep our toes warm, seeing people go barefoot in public and it's not the beach or a swimming pool can be a little bit weird. But actually, rather than criticising or wondering if they've got asbestos in the soles of their feet, don't criticise. Join them. Everyone talks about that feeling where you can spread your toes in the sand and how liberating it can be. Well, just go barefoot in public, mate. You get that feeling all the time, except when it's the middle of summer and you step on that black tarmac. Maybe put your thongs on then. Now, if you thought going barefoot in public was rather informal or slightly offensive, then wait until the average Australian speaks to you. Don't get me wrong, most of them are educated, eloquent individuals, but the average Aussie does love a swear. They even do it on the radio.
You know, it's funny. My girlfriend's sister visited one day and she said, hey, I'm in the parking lot. I don't know the building. Can you come and meet me and then walk me to your apartment? And I get out there and she looks at me and says, why are you barefooted? I was like, what's wrong with just walking barefooted? She's like, yeah, but like you're going to cut yourself. I'm like, no, my feet is custom to this. Your feet is so sensitive because you wear shoes all the time. I come from a country where, let me tell you this, I didn't have my first shoe until I was 8 years old. And if you talk to my son, he would tell you, oh yeah, my dad didn't have shoes until he was 8. So yeah, I didn't have shoes until I was 8 years old because in my country, I'm talking about climbing rocks, extreme heat. We didn't really feel it. Our feet, the bottom of our feet is just custom and used to that stuff. And also, the older I got, I started reading books about energy and centering yourself. And I think being barefooted, touching the earth helps me. I'm saying for me. So, because in my country, I had no stress, no headache. I didn't think about anything crazy. I was just grounded, man. So I do it here and I'm the same way. People just looks at me like I'm a weirdo, but just because I don't have shoes on to go get the mail, I got to put the shoe on. If I'm at the beach, why would I wear socks? Why would I wear shoes? It's the beach. But in America, they're not used to that. Like my feet is used to being at the beach, climbing rocks and doing all that stuff. So your skin becomes a little bit tougher. So I don't know. That's just me, man. Australia sounds like a place I need to. Sounds like home for me.
First time I heard shit on the radio in the morning, I was wondering if my driving was okay or if someone was shouting at me in traffic. No, it was the person on the radio. I've even heard them drop the odd wanker, which can be wholly confusing to some of the people watching this that don't even know what a wanker is. They can say wanker on the radio, yet I'm cursey enough to bleep wanker on my videos. What a beautiful country we live in. Now don't get me wrong, they don't go for the hardcore stuff like fuck or bugger. Wait, bugger isn't really that bad, is it? Oh, I've buggered this up. But most Australians will drop the C-bomb at you as a term of endearment. How's it going? I know that for lots of people when they watch Game of Thrones, dropping the C-bomb was a big taboo. And if you don't like that word, sorry, Australia might not be for you. Because in Australia, lots of people like to swear and everyone's a cunt. So you better get used to it. I don't think I've ever used that many bleeps in a video before. I really hope I bleeped all of those out. Now the last one is something that's awesome, but also one of my little pet peeves. In Australia, they have some of the best containers for sauce. In those little foldy things that just squeeze out perfectly. What an invention! But in Australia, if you want the privilege of sauce, you have to pay for it. Want some tomato sauce, mate? Yeah, that could be 15 cents, please. Or 30 cents if you want two, because they're like really small packets. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but they do that here in America now. I wanted extra sauce from Chick-fil-A. It was 15 cents. And I was like, wait, what? You guys are charging for that? They're like, yeah, the only thing they don't charge you is for ketchup, those little packets. But the sauce, they charge you for it now. So,
not everywhere does charge for sauce. Thank the Lord. But lots of places do. And it's pretty common practice. If you're like my wife that just loves to slather everything in tomato ketchup, then not only calling it ketchup is going to be weird in Australia, because it's tomato sauce, as I've been...
See, to me, that makes sense. It is a sauce that's made from tomato sauce. To me, it makes sense. And he said tomato, not tomato.
Been told many times when I get that confusing look asking for ketchup, but like going to America and having to pay for something and then add on the sales tax, if you want sauce, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. But the good thing is we don't have to tip, because everyone gets a fair wage, and Medicare, and gun laws. What a beautiful country Australia.
It's a shame that like anybody who works in the restaurant, and that type of job, man, They live off tips, bro. Like sometimes even the delivery guy, man, right? Like when they deliver food to my house, they include the tip in there, but I still try to give extra 5 or a 10 because that's basically where they're making the money. The fact that you don't have the tip is crazy to me because they're getting paid. It's America for you, man.
Have to tip. Because everyone gets a fair wage. And Medicare. And gun laws. What a beautiful country Australia is. Now, if you're thinking of moving to Australia and you don't want to live in Melbourne or Sydney, and you think that, like us, Brisbane could be the place for you, then watch this video to wonder if Brisbane is really worth going to.
Hey, this guy actually said nothing wrong, at least for me. Maybe for a person who's born and raised in America, it would be a culture shock. But for me, coming from Cape Verde, my country's like Australia, minus Australia's got a better infrastructure, better hospitals, and probably better restaurants. But we have great food, right? We don't have huge restaurants in our country, but great food made with love from what we call moms and pops, right? But yeah, to me, this is not culture shock, but it was still good information. It was nice to hear. Man, Australia sounds like it's an upgrade from my country. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing, man. Christmas, to be honest with you, I think it should snow once a year. And that should be for Christmas. After that, after Christmas is over, yeah, we don't care about snow. I really don't care for snow. So yeah, I was used to that coming from Africa. So no snow in the Christmas time. Yeah, we don't care. We really didn't care for it. It's when I got here that I saw snow for the first time. I was like, oh, wow, that's a thing, you know? And it was cold. That was a thing. And I couldn't walk barefoot. As a matter of fact, I couldn't go into a store barefoot. It's like, why? But why is that a big deal? I think it's probably just laws and like I can step on something, slip, fall, and then I sue. That's America, man. Everything is money, 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 money. And that's why they work 80 hours a week and they get stressed versus like my country. It's hard to find a job, but people are happy. You fish, you grow your own crops, you have your own animals, farm, and you're just happy. You don't have to be rich, but your life is rich in wisdom, love, culture, experience without money. But you couldn't tell that to somebody in America. So yeah, Australia sounds like a beautiful place for me to live. Not a problem. Anyways, man, if there's more videos like this about Australia, put in the comment section below. I want to learn more. That's what this channel's about. Keep your head up. Love you guys. Till next time. Peace.